On today's Minute of the Apes, Caesar runs left, Caesar runs right, Caesar breaks some glass, Caesar's all over the place.
2 years sticking damn dirty ape. Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. With a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. That was Richard with one hell of a tease. And guy with the weird strobing ceiling fan on the Zoom call. What's your name, sir?
Sean.
Rich, I don't know if that comes off to you, but it always kills me with Sean. His ceiling fan, the frame rate of Zoom calls is not enough to make it actually go around. It's sort of So I want to start off today with a weird note that I found that I kind of wish I had thrown in at the beginning of the riot talk, because a lot of this has to do with it, but it's really about a film like this that is so rushed. Its budget is so cut. There's some interesting notes about sets and things like that and costumes. So the jumpsuits worn by the apes were leftover costumes from the 1964 to 68 20th Century Fox series Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
Okay.
The ape management men's insignia patches and computer and electronic cabinets all came from the Irwin Allen series The Time Tunnel from 1966. The large set that comprised the Ape Management Center was a redressed set from City Beneath the Sea. And Governor Breck's auction throne was first used in Taylor's spaceship in Planet of the Apes. So we're going to have to go back and look in the spaceship and see if it is one. The same style chair was used by the passengers on the space plane in Land of the Giants from 1968. So
they did the El Mariachi of, we've got a guitar case and a turtle, let's go make a movie. We've got this set and we've got this set. What can we do in this set?
Well, think about
the warehouse, pick out this, pick out that. This looks cute.
Well, Beneath repurposed sets from Hello Dolly. So, I mean, they've definitely been on that, hey, let's use that. How can we plug this kind of thing in? And it's smart filmmaking. You don't have to really pay for much.
But I mean, that's theater, right? You walk in like, we're doing a production of this. What do we have? Oh, we got a feather boa. All right. You know, what are we making today based upon the props we have already built around us?
Yeah. So with those notes in hand, Sean, tell us what's going on with minute 75.
All right, with minute 75, we start with our Ewok shot of dead apes and ends with an ape choking out a guard.
All right, let's listen to another riot-focused moment from Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
My God, there's more!
As of minute 75, we have courtyards worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesar, dead apes and ape management, dead apes on the street, dead humans everywhere. What is going on?
I don't know that there's a whole lot that can be said about this entire minute that hasn't been said already. It's a lot of shots of of rioting, except that we begin to have a motif in this minute of glass. That's the one thing that really stuck out.
I was about to say, yeah, it's time to burn up the fake glass budget.
And
they just do shattering.
So we see Caesar. We finally see Caesar. He's coming through smoke. He's running to the left towards whatever is on the goal on the left, right?
Right.
We originally have the apes coming over the bridge from the left. We have the troops and the guards on the right. Despite all the chaos, we're still moving what appears to be left to right for the gorillas, for the apes. And Caesar moves left, and then we see him kind of randomly find a gun munition that doesn't appear to be a part of a building. It's like it's just on the street.
Yeah, I'm assuming that, you got the salon, you've got the restaurant, you've got the bookstore, you've got the firearm store with the poorly stocked guns in the front that have no safety on them, and I'm assuming by movie logic are actually armed right now.
I hadn't even thought about the fact that was supposed to be a munitions or a gun store. I just thought he was smashing glass somewhere inside a police area to steal guns that were, those aren't just like the hand pistols you'd have hanging out of a gun store. These are like military grade weapons. They're.
Well, again, Chekhov's gun, literally, they should have shown us, in the beginning when they're scrolling through the courtyard and they're handing out the flyers, we should have seen this gun store.
That was the weird thing for me, is that, okay, at first it does have that feeling like and I think it's because we're outside. All this action's taking place outside. And suddenly to cut behind weapons that have glass in front of them, all but says this is outside somehow. And the most ineffectual way to lock weapons away behind glass can be shattered, especially when we're in the glass shattering motif moment of the film. Why? I know your budget's slashed. I know all that, but why didn't they go to a pawn shop or something like that in the area and just say, if we put a fake door up here one night, can we do one setup that is a door? Suddenly a door kicks in and you're from inside the store, the door kicks in and apes flood in, and then we cut around and we see all the guns on the wall. That's all you needed to say. You don't even need to see the glass smashing. We know they're going to get those guns, especially if your next shot is every ape running with a gun in their hand. It tells that story.
We see Caesar smash the glass. We see apes take the guns and pull them out. Then they start running to the right. And I'm like, wait a minute. We ran left, and now we're running to the right. So what's on the right side? Like, I didn't understand what this direction was. It's like it's Caesar by himself first. It's Caesar running to the left. Sorry, Caesar running to the right. I'm getting this confused. Caesar running to the right to smash the glass, guns being grabbed, and then Caesar running to the left now with more gorillas that have guns prior to this. And it's the first time we've seen Caesar in this last couple of minutes of doing something. I did have a note. This is the first time that I thought of this with Caesar being in his green garb, carrying a gun. It kind of made me think of Che and Fidel Castro, and suddenly I feel like I'm back in this Argentinian-Cuban kind of revolutionary moment where there's kind of a military takeover, with the purpose for the people themselves. That was the visual image I saw when I saw Caesar with the gun and the green. It was the first time I was like, oh, this looks more military to me. People's Uprising, military, Marxist kind of stuff.
That didn't hit me, but I think that's a great find. That's a great catch. I see that. I just wish, even in those movies, if you tell that, Caesar had seen, I think in the early moments when he's walking around the city with Armando, you could have so easily put in a moment of the armory of guards coming out and having checked in weapons, and he looks through a window or something like that and sees it. If you build that in, and then when he goes there, that pays off. It's just this whole moment to me, and it's one of the reasons I made light of it with the glass, is it doesn't further a narrative anymore, except that now they're to a new area, smash and toss bodies, and I don't understand what's going on.
And at around 23 seconds, you get the shot of the apes throwing rocks, just smashing windows. At that point, they're all lined up. That just seems a little childish compared to everything else that they've been doing. Just, hey, let's smash windows. Also, where were those rocks when they were lining up against the cops shooting at them?
True.
And why weren't they throwing rocks at them then?
It's a really clean plaza to suddenly have all these bricks and rocks that come out of nowhere. But yeah, they run so Caesar runs to the right. Sorry, to the left. Caesar's now running to the left with a group of guerrillas with guns. And then we have the shot of the guerrillas or apes without guns now smashing windows with rocks. But it wasn't Caesar and his group. I still have no sense where Caesar and them are going. And now we're breaking windows. We're causing destruction. So first we were taking over the riot police. Now we're actually causing destruction of the plaza itself. So is this the next escalation we're supposed to take? First is taking over the security forces. Next is the destruction of the plaza.
I don't know.
Of the moments that are missed, we talk about that the childish nature of throwing something through the glass to break it. Why don't we see civilians or unarmed personnel on the inside of that glass shrieking, calling out, they've breached this part? That then goes to Breck, and that would escalate him into panic because now they're everywhere. His comment of, my God, there's more, could have just been, my God, they're everywhere. And if you show those things, that there are people that are afraid and falling back, there's too many of them. Now we have a narrative. Now we have a chaotic plan. And instead, I still don't understand, other than destruction. And maybe what Dane is doing, there are people that look at riots, and especially the race riots of that time, and think it's just people destructing things to be out there and hurt, and they don't understand. And maybe that's also why this riot has no goal. Maybe it's just supposed to be reactionary, and you're out there like what they were seeing on the news at that time. Yeah,
I mean, Caesar gave them guns, right? We now have guns. We now have rioting, smashing,
right gear. Yeah,
we don't have looting per se.
Right.
We have one of the apes now brutally trying to choke out a officer over some glass in the window.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean that was vicious. And then they smashed him through, and then they smashed a second guy through, and then just shoving him down and choking him on that glass.
So I mean, were we supposed to believe the earlier scenes of them subduing and taking over the police officers were gentle, and now this is like the next level of violence? Because this level of violence of them taking on the officers, with the choking and the smashing of the glass, is probably even more brutal than what we've already seen, which is kind of hard to say.
You got your cleaver ape again at 44 seconds in, so you still got that vicious knife out there.
But you wanted your one-on-one scenes, Todd. Your little takeaways. We're kind of starting to get a few of those here.
We are. We get a more intimate nature of the attacks. We get things that make sense. Maybe I think I might actually feel a little bit better about what they're attempting to do here now that, at least in my head, I kind of thought of maybe they're attempting to look truly at the riot footage where there was seemingly no sense to what occurred. It was just a riot. And that may be what they're attempting to do here. I think that ultimately you can do that for a while. I think you have to have a narrative that eventually focuses and pushes it. I'm trying to think of films with riot scenes in them. Even Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing, the people have no purpose, yet they also have a purpose, if that makes sense. They have purpose within their character.
Do you guys get the shot of the butt of the gun smacking the officer and the blood kind of flying up? Was that?
Of his mouth. Yeah,
that was a little hard.
Paint.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of dug that. I was like, I want more of that.
Well, that's just it. We have the scene of the choke out on the glass, and then we have the scene of the actual hand scene of them choking an officer, and then the butt of the gun. And I would have liked to have seen some of that more interspersed earlier.
Yeah.
Well, you know, so when you think about it, Richard, your version of the movie didn't have the shots of the apes getting shot in the face with the blood, right?
Right, but it had the butt of the gun one, which is kind of brutal too.
Yeah, so basically,
they left that
from
one
your
in.
point, I think why it really stood out for you with the blood flying out of his mouth is, from your point of view, I think this is the first time you've seen blood in this movie.
I think at this level, yeah. Didn't I see ape on a blood mask? I didn't see the.
Yeah,
I did. I saw ape on a
I
blood mass, but I didn't see what started that. I didn't see the cause of that.
Yeah, I showed you. I think I showed you
Or
my
maybe
screen.
maybe
so
that's
you
what
could
it
see
was.